What is going on, world? Welcome to Apocaflix Movies, the movie hangout show from us, Apocaflix Movies. Apocaflix Now is what I meant to say as the show name. But yes, welcome to both. I am your host, Jacob Bartley, and we do have a Tuesday News Day today. Guess they'll flip-flop every once in a while. But of course, let me introduce the crew before we get started. We have Gio Ramos in the house, Brian Avalosino, and Jake Berlin. And of course, Keith Barnes should be joining us soon. But before we get to anything, guys, how are you all doing?
Not bad. First day back after a 4-day weekend.
As good as you can be this year, right?
Serious. Very true.
I mean, I didn't have the luxury of having a 4-day weekend like Brian did, but
You went to Tahoe, don't even.
I went for one day. Which was nice, but Monday, Tuesday's been hell. I'll say that much.
Interesting. How is it up there? Is it crowded, or are there not as many people up there?
No, so it's that time of year right now where it's in between summer and winter, and so it's a period. It was actually really cold. It got high at 53 during the day, which was awesome because obviously different here in the valley. So
yeah,
it was definitely a nice getaway. Didn't do a whole lot as far as like go out and stuff. It was just kind of like a nice little hangout getaway, which was something that I needed. So.
Nice. That sounds fun. I want to go up there and see some snow this year. So
yeah, I haven't been to Tahoe during a white winter in a while, so I'm looking forward to that too.
Hey, Star Drew, I ate pizza too. I killed a whole DiGiorno pizza by myself.
Oh my goodness!
I feel like a piece of crap.
I had homemade spaghetti and meatballs, boys.
Ew. Did you make some noodles yourself? Ew, God.
What'd you have? Wait, what did he say? What?
Tuna melts.
Oh, I love me some tuna melts.
They're so
love me some tuna melts
when they're nice and warm with the melted cheese.
Oh, pepper jack cheese and only pepper jack cheese
makes me want to throw
any
up.
kind of cheese.
I will say, Jacob, it gives me an incredible amount of anxiety that you don't capitalize your words in your hashtags.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like it
Keep doing it.
Effing crazy.
But wait,
it bothers the hell out of Jake.
It's his OCD.
Hashtags don't have to have exclamation points, though.
Yes, they do. Just like this. Watch, I'll show you.
That's why
I have the power. I have the power to do that.
Oh, I thought you were saying, for some reason I thought you said exclamation point.
No, hashtag.
But no, it's not required to capitalize your hashtag things, but people most people's hashtags aren't capitalized.
100% is required.
My favorite thing to do to him that gets him every time is this. Just
my goodness, that's
for everything.
Terrible. I hate
that. You are.
It makes me look stupid. It makes me you look like you can't spell.
Yeah.
No one complains to you.
Oh, I always wave my mouse like people can see what I'm showing them. I was going to say the good thing about this now is people can actually see what it says. You know, when they're not capitalized, you can't really tell what it says sometimes. So thank you, Jake. Appreciate it. So normally we do the movie watching challenge like right away at the beginning of the show, but while we wait for Keith, he's gonna review Invictus for us once he hops on. We're gonna jump to our biggest news story first and foremost. So Jake, what is that?
Yeah, so some very,
one of the biggest. Yeah.
Yeah, so some very cool and interesting news came out this week. And there's a lot of cool behind the scenes factors of this, but it has been revealed that Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot will be re-teaming after their work on Wonder Woman 1984 to tackle Cleopatra, a biopic of the famous Egyptian queen. And it's actually quite exciting because one, Patty Jenkins clearly knows what she's doing, and two, Gal Gadot is arguably a perfect choice for the role. She's Israeli. And so that's as close as you're going to get to someone like an Egyptian background. And we don't have many of those in Hollywood, obviously. And so Gal Gadot is a very, very well done choice for this role. But the cool thing about this is that Gal Gadot actually headed the entire thing herself. She actually led the charge to get this film made. And it's been an interesting road for projects revolving around Cleopatra. These aren't all of the same projects. These are variations of the project over the years. But at times in history throughout the last decade or two, names like David Fincher, Ang Lee, and Denis Villeneuve have all been attached to direct projects, as well as Angelina Jolie and Lady Gaga set to star in the role in different projects. And none of them have been able to get made. The original Cleopatra back in the 60s is one of the most expensive films ever made, one of the biggest films ever made, which is why it's had a hard time being put to the big screen. But Gal Gadot has essentially led the charge, and during the COVID lockdown and all that type of stuff, she recruited Shutter Island writer, Lisha Kallegragis, I want to say her name is. Excuse me for butchering that.
What was it?
I'm not saying that again. The Shutter Island writer to research and shape the story, as the article put it. And then it essentially got pitched to studios with all over Zoom. Keep this in mind. This is all over Zoom with Patty Jenkins, Gal Gadot, the writer, as well as some producing partners to a number of companies, including Paramount, Universal, Apple, Warner Brothers, and Netflix, ultimately landing at Paramount, beating out all of those other studios for this project, which is super, super exciting. And the one thing that had been thrown around in this article is that it's going to be from a very strong women perspective, which doesn't just mean the Egyptian queen, but also her surrounding characters as well. I'm super interested in this. I know this because I'm a huge history person. I love myself some history stories and stuff like that, but I've never seen Cleopatra on screen. I have never seen the original. I've never seen any kind of rendition of her. I'm really excited to see this character come to life, and not in some version of an action movie. It's going to be like a biopic, and I'm super excited for that. And having Patty Jenkins at the helm definitely makes sense. She's a strong director, but I also am very interested to see what she does outside of action and comic book stuff, because we haven't seen a lot of her. And so, Jacob, I'll go to you on this first, man. What are you thinking about Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot doing Cleopatra?
I think this is really cool. I was surprised to see it because I remember like the other actors and the other directors being attached to this, throughout the last 5 or 6, 7 years. And I was wondering, like, that's interesting that they're doing that. And none of those choices ever got me, like, even though, look, I love David Fincher, but I'm sure he would have done a great job. But I was never like, that's a great fit, like for either the actress or the director. For them, since they already have chemistry together, and if this is something that Gal Gadot wanted to do, that's what makes it exciting for me, because this reminds me of Margot Robbie a little bit, where playing the Harley Quinn character and then playing the Wonder Woman character put them in a position to be able to seek out projects like this that they're passionate about. And I'm so glad that Patty Jenkins decided to do it, because it could have been Gal working with David Fincher or working with somebody else, but I think Jenkins is going to bring the best out of her. And I just think it's really cool, because I could see a studio, seeking out Gal Gadot to do it, but the fact that she wants to do it makes it exciting for me. So I'm all in. And I think she's better. She's getting better as an actress. So by the time she works on this, she's going to be a lot better of an actress.
Yeah, we've seen over the last 10 years that actors and directors have become massively attached to each other, and they continue to work with each other time and time again. And that clearly is the case here. And to your point, Patty Jenkins so far has brought the best out of her as an actress. So, Brian, what about you?
Well, yeah, just really off of what you guys were just saying. I mean, you're going to get a better performance from someone that is comfortable with the person that's directing them. And I'm not going to be comfortable doing another podcast with someone I've never met right off the bat, right?
Exactly.
So, I mean, if I have years of a relationship with someone and trust that person, and I'm willing to do whatever, and it clearly it was kind of sounds a little bit like it was Gal's product, so she trusts Patty to take the helm of it. I mean, it sounds like it'll be a win-win. I'm curious to see it. I literally took an Egyptian mythology class in college.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
nice.
So I'm down for it. I'm glad they didn't stupidly just be like, hey, let's get Jessica Chastain, white girl with red hair, like some racially correct person to play this role. Like, they actually did the right thing and picked someone that can actually play this role. And I think, I mean, Cleopatra has always been this like, what's the right word?
Historic figure.
No, I don't want. I was gonna say like sexualized, but she's not. It's just like this, like she's this like goddess walking
She's
on
very,
earth.
she's very much like Daenerys Targaryen from Game of Thrones. That's kind of like the portrayal that they gave her without actually putting her on screen.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that much. To me, it was just more like this, like she was almost.
I think what you're trying to say, like they kind of glamorize her in a way, like
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like she. That's perfect. Like glamorized her, and just a mythic figure. Like she was legitly like almost like so loved that she was like a god, like fake. So I mean, I'm curious to see how this works, and I think she's perfect for it. Like I literally was sitting here when I first heard it from you earlier. I was like, really, like her? And then like the more and more I thought about it, I was trying to think of someone else, and she's kind of actually like legitimately perfect for that.
There's
role.
nobody
So
better in Hollywood. There's
no, not for Cleopatra that I can think of off the top of my head. So I think it would be kind of dope. I'm actually excited, and I'm curious to see who plays certain things around her.
It's going to be a big cast. It's for sure going to be a big cast.
Yeah.
Just don't make it an action movie. Gio, I'm gonna go to you real quick. Let me bring Keith in. Mr. Keith,
Hi,
Keith. What's up, bud? We're talking about Cleopatra here right now. Gio's gonna get his thoughts, and then we'll shoot it back to you, man. Gio, what do you think about Cleopatra?
I think it's fucking awesome. I'll tell you why. This is the most power Gal Gadot has had in Hollywood in her career so far. And what does she do? She goes for projects like this, and she spearheads it. Projects that are, you could say, have been in development hell because they've gone from filmmaker to filmmaker, producer to producer. And so I love what she's doing and the projects that she's going for. It's ambitious. And to bring Patty Jenkins along as well. I mean, did you see what Patty Jenkins did from a period piece standpoint in Wonder Woman? How she made that World War I setting look, and now she's going to go back to the last ruler of some Egyptian period. You can fill that in, Brian. I'm not entirely sure. But
she wasn't the last, but she was probably the most powerful female queen of Egyptian lore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I absolutely love this. I am rooting for this project, and I'll go a step further. Well, before I do that, I want to say I'm happy that Paramount beat out Apple and Netflix, okay? Because, yes, they are...
Well, that's who they were going against?
They were going against Apple, Netflix, Warner Brothers, and Universal. But I don't want, for me personally, I don't want streaming services to touch this kind of project. Not until they've had, you know, a longer history in Hollywood as far as big budget filmmaking. So I think it went to the right studio. But I'm going to say this right now. If this movie is made and it happens, this will be Gal Gadot's first Oscar nomination for Best Lead Actress. I'll say that right now. I called it with Leo DiCaprio when I found out that Alejandro Inarritu was doing The Revenant. This is giving me the same vibes. I think she's going to shock a lot of people, and this will be the new peak for her career.
That's not a bad prediction.
It's a bold prediction, but it's something I can see happening.
Prediction I've ever seen.
That's what I do.
I could low-key see that. If it is done to the level like actual like a Academy Award type level, like not her. I'm talking like the film.
Well, that's a good. It depends if the studio and Patty Jenkins and the writers approach it that way too.
Yeah. If they do
the credentials and at least a Golden Globe win.
I can see that for sure.
Keith, what about you, man? What do you think about this Patty Jenkins, Gal Gadot, Cleopatra?
Sounds great. I don't see how it's a great duo, right? Great team. So I don't see how That's it. Maybe she'll be her, De Niro to, Scorsese situation, or now DiCaprio Scorsese.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Other one of those guys for Marty Scorsese, the Patty Jenkins Gal Gadot connection. So, it's a period piece. It's going to be pretty epic because that's a lot. Cleopatra, that story there, and also you're looking at, obviously the most iconic portrayal is Elizabeth Taylor. I don't know that anyone's ever done it since that well, and so that's one of the things people think of Cleopatra nowadays. You kind of think about that, right? And that was made obviously in old Hollywood, and they weren't casting people of color or anybody ethnic in those roles. So, seems like a lot of people have a problem with Gal Gadot being cast in this role. She is Israeli, so I don't see, I understand some of the criticism because people, Cleopatra, was she African or she's, but I don't mind Gal being in this role. And Gio, you might be right, man. This could be one of those things that kind of elevates her as an actress into that up in that stratosphere, and maybe an Oscar caliber performance could be in the cards. Look, she did it for Charlize Theron, so she can get that kind of performance. Obviously a different character, but that kind of performance out of Gal, I don't think it's crazy at all. So, but yeah, I'm in.
Seems like it's a yes all around, which is cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just curious to see who they put around her, because that time period, you have some names of famous figures, and then you throw high caliber actors with her. Oof, that could be a force of a movie. So I'm curious to see how that goes.
Well, we don't want it to turn into Gods and Monsters or any of that silliness either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I'm saying, like, you have a love story type thing, like, like an Alexander the Great coming in or something like that. Caesar, any of that, like, that could be really interesting. You have something like that. So
yeah,
I'm curious. This has piqued my interest more than I thought it would.
Yeah, I'm super excited for it. And I want to watch it in a movie theater.
Oh yeah.
What studio is this? Do we know? Is it one of
Paramount?
Paramount. Okay. All right. Paramount. Let Patty do her thing. All right. She's
true.
So just get out of the way. Let her do her work.
All right, cool. Well, let's jump back now to the movie watching challenge, and to start this off, Keith was challenged to watch Invictus. It was a Geo chosen film. So, Keith, why don't you tell us your thoughts on Invictus?
I'm so excited to hear.
Loved it. Loved this movie.
Nice.
So good, man. Came out at a time when I wasn't really. My kids, my older ones, Emma wasn't born yet, of course, in 2009, but the other ones were really little. So I wasn't really going to a lot of movies at that time. It's the only reason I could think of for why I missed this, because I had no idea. You probably remember I said I didn't even know it was a Clint Eastwood movie. I kind of remember seeing like previews for it and stuff, but just want, you just miss them sometimes. Whatever. Gio, you're the best. You know what I like, man. I'm telling you, I love this movie so much, man. And then I remembered there was a 30 for 30 about this story that I wanted to see. I'm gonna try to maybe catch that tonight.
Yep.
Called The 16th Man. I'm gonna try to catch that tonight if I can.
It's so good.
Yeah. I remember really wanting to catch that, and I didn't catch that was the same story until I started watching it. It's like, oh man, there's a 30 for 30 about the story. So I definitely want to watch that. But I loved it. Obviously, setting the end of apartheid, and I'm not gonna get into any of that, but that's a big part of the setting. And I remember all that, and people. It was a time of real transition in South Africa where people were calling Mandela a terrorist, and which whatever. It was a big deal that he became president. He just got out of prison, was able to get himself elected president, and it's just a real divisive time in South Africa. So, and he really, it's awesome that he saw the rugby team as a way to unite the country.
Mm-hmm.
And it took a lot to get them on board. And he got, I can't remember the name of Matt Damon's character. But I'm not gonna remember his name. But Matt Damon, who's very good, by the way. I was skeptical. Yes, that's right. Francois, whatever it was. Yeah. Francois, sorry. Yeah, that's right. And I was skeptical, like, Matt Damon is South African. Now, obviously, if that was being cast today, people would be going crazy over that. But I thought he did a really good job. He did a good job with the accent. Sounded like everybody sounded like Claw in Panther, which I love. But credit to Andy Serkis too. He does a good South African accent. But yeah, man, just not a lot of known really other than him and Morgan Freeman. They did it. I love the casting. Obviously a lot of South African actors in it as well, and they're all great. I love his security guys. Love the dynamic, the way they started off kind of button heads a little bit, and then even they came together at the end. So,
yep.
And obviously, story. I'm gonna go ahead and spoil it. I mean, they win the World Cup, and it's awesome, and it's shot beautifully. Clint Eastwood really, man, I love this movie. I really did. Really love it.
That's awesome. I remember when you found out it was a Clint Eastwood movie, you were super hyped about it. So
yeah. I was really wondering how he would tell that story. And, again, that also might be a thing where people might have a problem because you maybe want a black director to kind of tell the story. But I think he really did a great job as well. And it seemed to really do, from what I've known over the years about that story and reading about it some more, it seemed like he did the story justice, and I loved it. So
awesome. Well, that's definitely a win there for sure. Brian, you've seen this movie?
I have.
Okay.
I have. I had a friend in junior college at the time that was South African, and he was like, "You need to watch this movie," and I was like, "Okay," and I did, and I was like, "This is a really good movie." So
I still haven't seen it. I need to check it out. Gio, are you happy with Keith's response?
I love it. That's what I was hoping to hear. Man, I'm with you. This movie has a lot of heart. I thought the sports part was shot very well. And the casting for Mandela, I mean, Jesus Christ, perfect. So check it out if you haven't seen it.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah,
all right,
great.
well, let's move on to the second part of the movie watching challenge. I'm not going to forget anymore, guys. Don't worry. Where the next person gets challenged, and that is Brian, probably our favorite person to challenge because I don't know about you guys.
Because I'm the easiest person.
When I went to go choose my movie, I was like, "Ooh, look at all these choices!" And then,
exactly.
When it's like Jake, I'm like, "Damn it! Like, what? I need to find a movie." It's like I gotta find a way to go undercover and find out if what he has seen and hasn't seen or something. But Brian is probably the most fun to choose a movie for. So let's go ahead and reveal those movies, Jake.
Well, the first thing.
Oh, yeah, he has to decide how he wants to choose.
Oh, see, now I was hoping you would let me see it, and then I decide.
Nope. So what do you want to do? You want the viewers to vote for you, or would you rather pick a number?
I'm going to let people vote for me.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right. Well, the following movies have been picked, and these are the 4 that you have been challenged to this week, with only one of them being the winner. The first is Basketball.
Oh, dear God.
The second is Rain of Fire.
Never heard of that one.
Ooh.
The third is Snatch.
I think I've heard of that one.
And the fourth is The Big Sick.
Was not expecting any of these. That's
yeah.
I gotta say, look, and I'm not revealing which one's mine, but I love all 4 of these movies.
Yeah.
There's one of them that I really, really want you to watch.
Hey, these are some good choices for Brian, though. That's the thing,
Yeah.
I think. Like when I'm choosing a movie, look, sometimes we stick him with the long, boring movie that he doesn't want to watch. But
you guys do that on purpose.
Like, what is Brian actually going to like? So when I made my choice, that's what I was thinking. But still not going to say what it is.
I know what Jacob's is. Other than that, I don't know.
I don't think you do, Brian. I don't think you do. I will say for our viewers, all of you watching live and back on the replay, the poll is officially up on YouTube. You can go and vote. If you
Wait, how did you do it that fast?
If I'm a magician.
Damn.
If you go to our YouTube homepage and then you go under the community tab, which is right next to videos and playlists, you will see the poll. Also, if you go to your subscriptions page on YouTube, it should pop up on your subscriptions page if you're following us. And you'll be able to vote on which movie you want him to watch. Obviously, highest percentage wins. And we will reveal that probably later this week for him, probably around Friday or so he has the weekend to watch it.
Polls end when?
I literally just said probably.
No, I meant, when are you thinking? Thursday?
Well, we usually do Thursdays, but because Thursday shows are now pre-recorded, the poll will end on Friday.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Sounds good. I can't wait to see which movie is chosen. So let's get back to Tuesday Newsday. We have some trailers to discuss. Jake, why don't you tell them what we got on the docket for that?
Yeah, we have a really cool, a lot of cool stuff to talk about here in a second. But I do want to point out here, we got a super chat, gentlemen. Jimmy Fretwell.
Hello.
Thank you.
Appreciate it for the super chat, sir. Really, really thankful for that one. That's awesome. Thank you so much for that. We appreciate it.
I think he's given us one before.
He has a few months ago. He is the one that's responsible for 2 of our lone super chats.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you, Jimmy.
Man.
The one
Thank
and
you.
only.
Thank you, as always, Jimmy. Appreciate it. But yes, so we have a lot of cool stuff to talk about, guys. So the next topic we're going to talk about is some movie trailers. Some movie trailers have come out over the last week, and instead of talking about all of them, I've given you guys the hard decision to pick one of the following 4 to discuss. We've watched them all. You're going to pick one to talk about, and you're not going to be able to talk about the rest of them. We don't want to spend too much time on this because we have 2 major topics to round out the show with here coming up. But the 4 trailers are Promising Young Woman, Mank, Fat Man, and I'm Your Woman. I will start with let's start with Gio. Gio, what is the one trailer that you want to discuss, man?
Well, this one's fairly easy. I mean, I would have went Mank, but I haven't seen Citizen Kane yet, so it doesn't mean anything to me yet. So,
Oh, is that what that movie is based on?
Yes.
But for me, it's Fat Man. Okay, I had no idea what this movie is about. Look, Mel Gibson, when he does R-rated action, it is violent and gruesome. And that's exactly what this looks like. Okay, you want to talk about 2 actors who can pull off crazy, and Mel Gibson and Walton Goggins, I think that's his name.
Yeah.
Man, this looks, I mean, this is a Christmas movie, is it not? I think it would qualify. And
almost all of these are Christmas movies, and they're not very Christmassy.
Hey, Die Hard's a Christmas movie. But anyways, dude, I'm totally looking forward to Fat Man. Okay, like it looks like it's a lot of action, a lot of violence, right up my alley. I loved Mel Gibson and Get the Gringo. That was a crazy movie, and this one looks like it's gonna be just as crazy. So it's Fat Man for me.
Keith.
Promising Young Woman looks very good. Looks promising.
Very different from the last trailer in my
He's
Go ahead,
killing
Keith.
himself over there.
No, that was good, man. Although they did this Hollywood, you and your movie trailer music, and you're just taking these songs, and I don't understand. They using Britney Spears' "Toxic" in there and making some kind of weird, slowed down, alternate, whatever version of it. Fine, whatever. It fits though. It actually does fit though what the movie seems to be about. So, yeah, man. Carey Mulligan from Drive, which is awesome. Right? That's
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. And Alison Brie. You got looks good, man. Connie, Friday Night Lights.
Connie Nielsen. Connie Britton.
Britton, yes. Connie Britton, yes.
She's the best.
Yeah, man, she's awesome and interesting role she's playing there. But yeah, man, look, I really like that. Was one of those kind of comedy. It's comedy-ish, right? It's kind of like how that Fox News movie, dark, like black comedy or whatever they call it. Yeah, like kind of
very dark comedy.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks really good. So yeah, I like that one. If it comes out. in theaters, which you probably won't. But it does look good. It does look good. So yeah. Okay.
Fun fact about Promising Young Woman before I move on. This was one of Margot Robbie's first major producer roles.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Nice. She's been a heavyweight in the.
She was heavily involved in this project.
Yeah, that's cool.
Brian, I'll go to you next.
I'm gonna keep the new not been picked train going, and I'm Your Woman was
Damn it!
the one.
I didn't.
Really?
Well, one of us
You-
was going to have to choose one that somebody else did.
yeah.
Not necessarily.
I just, to be honest, like none of them really like thrilled me, but this one was the one that I was most like, okay, that one could have my attention a little bit. But I love a good. What would you not? What type of movie would you describe this more as? Like a.
It's a drama.
No, I meant it more like a whodunit type thing, or like
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
So, I'm a sucker for trying to figure out like who did it by the end of a movie, or what's the reasoning behind why they did it, why they did something bad, and that's basically what this movie is. So, anytime you stroke that little curiosity of me, I'm like, okay, I'll give it a shot. So yeah, that one was the one. I'm shocked someone picked that Fat Man movie.
Fat Man looks so much fun.
I'm shocked.
Jacob,
Yeah, it does.
Jacob, what about you?
No surprise. Well, you guys probably know what I'm going to pick. I'm going to pick Mank because
Of course.
David Fincher is my favorite director ever, and honestly, this isn't my favorite trailer out of all of these. But the best trailer is probably Promising Young Woman. But I do want to talk about Mank because they just went straight up old school movie, and it's all black and white. That's crazy. I didn't know that's what they were going for, but it's kind of cool because it's like as if we're watching these events back when they were going on. And Orson Welles, look, I haven't seen Citizen Kane either. I need to. Obviously, it's considered one of the greats, and I will watch it before I watch this movie. But Orson Welles is an interesting guy, man. Like he was a superstar actor, and then he was like making his own movies, going broke, and all this stuff. And it's an interesting story. And it's Gary Oldman, directed by David Fincher, with this old school style. I thought it was really cool the way they made that trailer.
Yeah.
For me, before this morning, the one that I was going to pick was Promising Young Woman because I cannot wait for that film. But it's I'm Your Woman. There's one sole purpose because of I'm Your Woman, and it's Rachel Brosnahan. Rachel Brosnahan might be the best working female actress on the planet. She is.
Let me guess. She's from a TV show.
Yes.
Yeah.
She
You
is.
guys in your TV.
And what? And what TV show?
She is brilliant in everything that she touches. She deserves more. I'm happy to see her stepping into a film. I also say that I love almost everything that Prime Video does as a company, whether it's film or television. I think that their products are really, really great. But I also love the concept. I think a drama like this, I'm really looking forward to, and I think that it's, like everyone has kind of said, not all of the trailers were like stellar. It was kind of like a, pick the best out of the worst situation because none of them were like blowing you away with what they were showing. But I'm definitely excited a lot more than I was after seeing I'm Your Woman, after seeing that trailer this morning. So
it's set in the 70s too. I didn't really catch that from the trailer, but that's interesting.
So yeah, that's definitely going to be.
I don't know, Jake. Mel Gibson as Santa Claus, and
trust me, dude. Trust me, I get it. I am.
Oh, she's Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Yeah.
Oh wow, she looks totally different.
Yeah.
Hell yes.
That's crazy. Oh,
Why do you
good
think
for her.
Jake picked it?
Okay, real quick. I do want to get to this real quick. A comment from Jimmy stepping back in here. Jimmy, this is on the docket. This is on our list of topic ideas to do scores. So just look out the coming weeks for that one.
For sure.
It is written down, and we will be doing that. So stay tuned for that one. So thank you very much.
Jake, Brian, and I sort of briefly went into that at the end of the Jurassic Park show.
yeah.
So,
Very true. Very true. Very, very true.
I didn't.
Right.
Oh, call me dumb, but I didn't even. I just looked up that Mank cast, and I didn't even see Lily Collins
in the trailer. It's hard to tell with the black and white and all the stuff. Yeah,
I will say, Gary Oldman, Charles Dance, Lily Collins, and Amanda Seyfried all caught. Like, I was like, "Ooh, that's a pretty interesting cast." Like, that's interesting.
I will also say that officially got a release date yesterday, and that's coming out December 4th on Netflix.
All December movies.
Oh, is
There
it?
you go.
Nice.
cannot wait. All right, what is our next news topic, Jake?
Yeah, we're getting into the heavy duty here, guys. We got some two big topics to talk about, and we're just talking about the best news to come out this week. I know the three of you might be like, "Oh, you're lying," whatever.
No, hold on.
The One Division Funko Pops are here.
Our best news. It's a lovely day to talk about Mad Max because it is official. A Furiosa prequel movie is officially happening. And yes, unfortunately, that means that we will not be seeing Charlize Theron return to the role because officially decided to instead of digitally age her backwards, he decided to cast a younger actress, and he landed on a perfect choice in Anya Taylor-Joy to play Furiosa in a prequel film to Mad Max Fury Road, which will also co-star Mr. Chris Hemsworth and Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, two gigantic names in Hollywood today. It'll be directed, co-written, and produced by George Miller, the filmmaker behind all of the Mad Max movies, and then as well as producing partner Doug Mitchell. And it's cool. Some interesting things here. This isn't like a project that they've been writing up over the last year or two. This was actually conceived when they were doing Fury Road. George Miller had the writer of Fury Road write all of the origins for all of the main characters in that movie while writing that film. So this film came from the product of that movie. So this has actually been in the works for quite a while, which is super, super exciting because not a lot of her backstory was actually revealed in that movie. They just revealed of just where she came from. Nothing past that, which is super, super cool. So it's going to be all fresh, all new, all different. And it's going to star a whole new cast, which is super exciting. I mean, I got to say, guys, after seeing Fury Road, obviously it's a 99% practical effect movie. George Miller literally did whatever he could to make every practical effect possible in that film. And if he's going to do that again for a prequel movie, and yes, it doesn't star Charlize Theron, which is a bit of a bummer, but telling the story of that character, of where she came from, who she kind of got involved with before she met Max, and Immortan Joe, how she ends up in Immortan Joe's custody, essentially, is super, super exciting. And the fact that he's also directing is a huge plus. I cannot explain how excited I am for this movie.
Should we let you go for the next 10 minutes?
Look, here, I'll do it. This is the most anticipated movie of the next 5 years. I'm telling you right now.
Oh, wow.
This is the most anticipated movie of the next 5 years. I don't care what any of these four think. Mad Max Furiosa is the movie that you should be looking forward to in the next 5 years.
This is James.
It's going to be practical effects, and it's going to star three giant names in Hollywood. And all of you haters who don't think it should be can suck it.
This is Jake Snyder cut.
There you go.
My goodness.
Settle down. Yeah, exactly.
This is Jake Snyder
I'm
cut.
honestly shocked. Because when you first said you were excited, I'm actually surprised you're really for this because it's not starring Charlize Theron. Because I remember when they first announced that it wasn't going to be, you guys weren't too happy with it. But
Let me get this straight. So the one thing Charlize, she's not in this movie, right? The one thing everyone universally agreed was the best part of that insane.
agreed.
And she's not going to be in the prequel that everyone's been calling for since that movie came out.
Wrong.
Wrong?
She was up there, but the best part about Mad Max Fury Road was the action sequences and the practical stunt effects.
I agree with Keith. She was the best part of that.
Look, guys. Here, let's just do this. Hey, Mad Max Furiosa, man. I mean, how pumped are you about this movie right now?
Dude, it's a classic. I mean, this movie will live and stand the test of time, dude.
Agreed.
This is a beast cast. Anya Taylor-Joy.
And it's not even done.
Yeah, Chris Hemsworth, Yahya Abdul-Manteen. Dude, George Miller wants to do this, and when George Miller wants to do something, you get something that's a spectacle, something that's amazing, and this is it. And I have a bold prediction. I'm gonna say it right now. Another one. The movie's gonna fast forward at the very end to Charlize Theron present day. Boom, another movie coming forward.
And do a sequel to Fury Road. I'm all for that. I'm all for that.
Remember, because he did work on he was working on another one, right? Where
there
it's
was a
like
sequel in mind. Yes.
Bullet Town or Wasteland or something like that. Man, dude.
Oh yeah, Mad Max Wasteland. That's what it was called. Yeah.
Dude, this is gonna be fantastic, dude. Oh my god, I can't wait. And this is one that we're watching on the big screen, buddy. Okay.
I'm not seeing this anywhere else. And George Miller won't let it be seen anywhere else. Let me go ahead and bring in our haters just so they can get their thoughts in real quick.
Go ahead.
Well, look, if you guys would let me talk, first of all, when they were talking about doing the prequel, I was never against it. She was the most interesting character in Fury Road, and to get more information on that, I'm down for. Also, you guys know I love Anya Taylor-Joy. This is absolutely incredible. Like, I think like seeing her name automatic. And look, I'm interested in this film regardless, but putting her in the film, and Chris Hemsworth is going to be in it, but just her starring as Furiosa, I'm 100% in for that. I love that. Because I just think I want to see her in a heavy action role. You know, she's done.
This is going to be action as fuck.
Action-ish movies, you know, where there's action elements. I haven't seen New Mutants yet, but that's probably irrelevant.
Oh, she's not going to be on a green set. Nope, she's going to be out there.
So
wherever he's shooting this.
I'm all for this, man. Anything that Anya Taylor does, I'm in for.
Well, and let me part in real quick because it's interesting because of what we know from Furiosa from Fury Road is that she came from a land that had no males. And the first two co-stars that are announced with her are males. So that's an interesting story point for her origin because how does she get there exactly? Are these people that are involved with the Morning Joe? Are these people that she gets involved with after escaping somewhere? Or maybe they help her escape somewhere? But we know that from Fury Road, the one thing we learned about her is that she came from a place that was female-driven with no males.
My first thought was that Chris Hemsworth is like her older brother or something. That was I don't know why I think that, but that was my first guess.
Yeah,
I think Hemsworth's going to be the bad guy.
Oh, even better.
I think he's going to be the bad guy. But I am down for this. I actually, Gio, you piqued my interest when we weren't on screen.
Mm-hmm. Well, Brian's now on the positive side of Fury Road.
Yeah,
slightly.
I'm like, honestly, I'm middle ground with Fury Road. I will say to what Gio said, if they do this like as a prequel, like a pre-prequel, and then do Charlize Theron again, which then leads into Mad Max, I'll love that. I'll take that in a second. That would be dope. Because you don't see a lot of. Yeah, you're not allowed to buy those anymore.
Yeah.
Because you don't really see movies do that. Where, to be honest, I can't think of a movie that does that. Where they've kind of like filmed the last one and then go 1 and 2. Like that'd be dope. I'd be curious to see how that works. So, but the cast is dope. I mean, Yahya Abdul-Manteen, we know can act his ass off. Like, he's amazing.
Watchmen, yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Chris
and
Hemsworth,
the upcoming Candyman.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
And the Matrix 4.
Yes, and the Matrix 4.
Ooh, he's in Matrix 4. That I did not know.
And he's going to be the new T'Challa, the new Black Panther.
Oh,
I wouldn't mind that.
Your guess.
Oh, shit. Well, that's off topic. Let's move on.
Jeez, I know you threw me off on that one. But no, I'm excited for this. I'm curious. I'm not like you guys that are losing your ever-loving mind. Like this is Jake's Snyder cut, like excitement level. If Gio's if Gio has like the Snyder cut, this one is Jake's. Like if we're talking excitement. So yeah.
It's a good point. We all need to find our Snyder cuts now.
Yeah, seriously. Although I do say I agree with you guys, this should not be seen on anything other than IMAX.
No, and does it have a release date?
No, not yet.
But it's not going to come out for at least 2 years.
They're aiming to start filming spring next year,
or 3 years, or something like that. So, Keith, you have any last thoughts on this, man? We didn't really hear your opinion.
Yeah. No, this cast is awesome, first of all, and George Miller, Dr. George Miller, which I always love about him. He's a doctor. Anya Taylor-Joy. Okay, fine. Look, I tease you guys about it. I'm just messing around with you guys. But I said it when we did our top.
It's so easy.
Oh yeah, no, I like to.
I'm going to pick you again, Keith.
I said when we talked about we did our Charlize rankings. I've never cared about Mad Max, so just never got into it. Tina Turner was in it. That's all I remember from when I was a kid. I just couldn't really, it just looked so weird and horrible. I do like the fan theory that, there you go. Yes, there you go. Good job, Jimmy. I didn't even see that. Well, the big crazy hairstyle she had. I love that song that she did. We don't need the hero. But I love the fan theory that the Mad Max world is the world outside of Mega City 1 in Dread.
Nice.
I wouldn't mind that.
I love that.
Carl Urban shows up.
I'm gonna write down that I need to watch Dread, and it will be watched this week.
You do. Yes. Because that's what judges do, right? When they kind of retire or whatever, they get sent out into the desert to go wander around out in the desert. And maybe that world is. I love that. I wish that was true.
All of a sudden, Carl Urban just shows up.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if he showed up, Carl Urban, I'll take him.
Carl Urban in anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, but hey, look, George Miller, he's up there. I mean, he's one of all-time greats. I'm sure this is going to be big, crazy, real action, which is really all practical action. So, it's going to be a madhouse. My eyes are going to hurt. I'm going to have I'm going to have a headache. I'm about to read about it when it's over. Okay, what happened?
Oh, you got through 10 minutes. Fine.
You're right. Yeah. So, no, actually, that does sound cool though. I do want to see it.
Yeah. So I think we could say we're all excited about this, which is, I'm sure Jake and Gio are glad to hear.
I'm sure they'll put a few more people in it too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, definitely. These are probably the 3 leads.
Would anyone else from Fury be in it? Do you think? I mean, other than like Immortan Joe.
No.
What do you think?
No.
Everybody else was so young though. Like
I'd say that possibly the women that she met up with. Fury Road. Maybe that's a big maybe.
Kind of young,
but they could be played by younger actresses that would have the same name.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we got one more big topic to talk about, Jake. What is that?
Yeah, so on top of this big Mad Max news, and this was something that was announced months ago, but it became official this week, and that is that HBO Max has officially ordered 10 episodes of first full season of a Green Lantern TV series. The Green Lantern TV series is officially a go at HBO Max, and it will be co-written and executive produced by Mark Guggenheim and Seth Grahame-Smith. If you don't know their names, first of all, Guggenheim has had a very long DC history, serving as co-creator and showrunner on both Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow for CW. But unfortunately, he also co-wrote the original 2011 Green Lantern. And Grahame-Smith is responsible for the Lego Batman movie. He doesn't have a lot of writing credits to his name. He has a lot of producing credits, most recently producing both of the It films for Warner Brothers, which is a big get. And so, like I said, a full 10 episodes is on the way for this show. And no major details were revealed, but this came in the article that was dropped last week, and it says the following: the show will depict the adventures of a multitude of lanterns, including Guy Gardner, Jessica Cruz, Simon Baz, and Alan Scott, Earth's first Green Lantern, who, true to the comics, is a gay man, and many more. The series will also include fan favorites such as Sinestro and Kilowog, and will also introduce new heroes to the ranks of the Green Lantern Corps. Now, obviously, you recognize that neither Hal Jordan or Jon Stewart were involved in that sentence, as well as Kyle Rayner, possibly leaving up the connection of them being in the movies more so than TV and showing up in the series possibly down the line. But so for now, Gardner, Cruz, Baz, Scott are the names that are dropped, which officially means that we'll be getting people playing these characters in this show. I know Gio is our resident DC guy, but we have a resident Green Lantern fan. That is Mr. Avellino down here. So I'm going to let him go first. Brian, thoughts on this Green Lantern Corps TV series?
Yes, I love Green Lantern. He is my favorite DC character by far. Until Captain America, he's been my favorite character forever. But
you're talking about Hal Jordan, correct?
Yes, I like Hal Jordan's. But I do love Guy Gardner because he's a wild card.
Oh yeah, he is.
He literally is not your stereotypical superhero. First thing I noticed was who they left out, which led me to believe immediately, okay, this has no connection whatsoever to DC movies, maybe, but there's a reason they left Jon Stewart and all those other characters out.
Yes,
they're gonna leave him for the movies.
Exactly. That's what I meant. Because for the longest time, we've heard that there's going to be a team up, Hal Jordan, Jon Stewart. Those two were conveniently both left out. So that leaves that one right there. Sinestro, I mean, you kind of can't you can, but you can't really do so much without him. So like, in my opinion, at some point, Sinestro will for sure be in movies, but I have a feeling that's going to be a little while. So they're just like, okay, yeah, you can have Sinestro. But I'm so excited for that. I don't care what. Honestly, the fact that this is a TV show and not a movie makes me so happy because there's so much more than you could do. That's not just a 2.5 hour max movie. I mean, you're basically going to get, depending on how many episodes, an 8 to 10 hour movie. And Green Lantern's world is so big that, I mean, it's not even a world. It's a
universe, bro.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I'm so excited for this. I really, 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 and I'm sure they will, but I really hope they go to different colors of the ring spectrum.
Oh, you bet they will.
There's no way they can do it without doing it.
Because, I mean, to be honest, the Red Lanterns are so good in DC as DC villains. I mean, there's so much you can do. You could do with the Black Lanterns. You could do the whole darkest or Jesus Christ,
Blackest Night.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm getting
Is
too
there ever
excited.
another like Earth character that's a different color lantern? Somebody from Earth?
No, it's just
No.
green.
Well,
isn't there a red one? That's
yeah. I mean,
there have been times that Earth Green Lanterns put on other.
yes, yeah.
People who are green
nobody
one
from
first.
Earth. Nobody from Earth is like strictly a red or a
Yeah.
yellow. Or
Oh,
anything.
okay.
They've put on other rings, but there has been no like born a Red Lantern. But I will give you guys time to talk. But I'm so excited for this.
The one thing that I'm interested in, obviously, I'm super pumped because Green Lantern, not as much as Brian, but I love the character Green Lantern. I think the Green Lantern character is so, just full of things that you can do with him. And the entire core. And I'm happy that
Green Lantern mythology,
yeah, like the entire mythology is so just brilliant, and I'm happy that it's not going to include, Hal Jordan, Jon Stewart. I'm interested in the Kyle Rayner thing because Kyle Rayner is a very, very cool character, and why his name wasn't involved, if that was on purpose or not. I'm also extremely interested in Alan Scott, how that's gonna kind of be twisted because he's obviously the first Green Lantern ever, and he was back in like decades before Hal Jordan. So I'm wondering if they're going to kind of twist up the
60s,
mythology.
I believe.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're going to twist up the mythology that we know and make it a little different for screen. But I'm pumped. I'm super excited they brought in the name of Jessica Cruz because her character is awesome. She's a great Lantern. I love the addition of Sinestro. Obviously, like Brian said, you can't really do it without him. But also Kilowog. You got to have Kilowog in there. He's a no-brainer. And I'm very interested to see if they get to voice him because obviously it's much more of a mocap / CGI role. But I'm just pumped. I'm just pumped because the mythology, like Jacob had said, it's so just massive and rich in story, and you can do so many different things, and you can go to so many different planets and universes and see so many different characters and races and species, and it's such a cool idea. And if they tie to the movies one day, cool. But if they don't, I'm happy with it. 10 episodes, like Brian said, you can do so much as far as story. So many movie stories have been shifting to TV lately. So I'm all for it. I'm pumped for it. And just lock down great directors because I'm a little scared about the writers.
I will say one quick last thing. The one thing I am curious, though, is what they do with Sinestro's story. Because he is very much tied into Hal Jordan and Abin Sur. So I am very curious to see where this takes place. I would imagine those characters already have lanterns or rings, so that would just presumably be already established, and these characters they've had them for a while. So
one thing's for sure, we have a lot of casting table ideas, boys.
Yeah.
Well, we did a Green Lantern episode.
There you go.
We did Hal Jordan and John Stewart. You are correct.
Yeah, so
Guy Gardner's going to be such.
Maybe we get some of those right. I think we did it where we could choose any lantern we wanted and
Yes.
bring them to the table. So maybe we get some of those right. Definitely. Well, I won't go too long on this, but like the only Green Lantern comics I ever read was Green Lanterns, which was actually the Jessica Cruz and Simon Baz run. And I read like the first 10 issues of that, and I loved it because they at the time in the comics, they were the only two Earth Green Lanterns. Like they were simultaneously chosen to protect Earth, and they both have extremely different personalities. And I hope they're consistent with those characters as they are in the comics, because I've been wanting to see, especially Jessica Cruz, come to life in live action for years. So I'm super excited about that. And I wonder, like, who's going to be the lead of the series? Is there a lead of the series? Is it kind of like Game of Thrones where there's like not really a lead?
Yep. I think HBO is going for a Game of Thrones style with a comic
space.
Yeah. Yep.
And another thing, I hope they don't spend too much time on Earth. I hope there's a lot of time outside of Earth.
I don't think they should at all.
I think it's going to be off of Earth.
Yeah, I don't think it should at all.
There will be scenes on Earth for sure. I think so.
There
Maybe
will
origin
be
scenes, origin flashbacks, maybe. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I think it's going to take mostly on Oa.
I hope so.
Hope so. So
Keith, what about you?
What's taking so long, man? We haven't got any Green Lantern stuff at all. All this stuff they've been announcing, but it doesn't matter. Hey, it's never. That's fine. So yeah. First of all, Brian, you said exact. I thought the exact same thing. Like no House, no John Stewart, no Hal Jordan. Definitely going to be no Parallax either as a villain. So I think those are all going to be big movie actors. Maybe we'll get hints of one or all of those, but yeah, no, it sounds cool. I only read. I never got fully into Green Lantern. I don't know why. I just never really did. I know I read the one when I was in school, where I think maybe it was an Elseworld story, where he gave the ring to Oliver Queen, which is actually a pretty cool story. And that'd be cool. I've always wanted to see that, but I'm really surprised they didn't do that on Arrow, the TV show. I was fully expecting that to happen during the run of that show.
Well, John Jacob was confirmed to be a Green Lantern.
Yeah, that's right. I think right, and that was like the last,
the very last scene we saw of him on the show. Yeah.
Yeah. Did they do a thing? Did they say his name was Stewart? Like, oh, that was my
They never
mother's
did
maiden
that.
name.
No, his
But,
name was just John Diggle. Yeah.
He opened a box and green light shined out.
And when the Flash,
Right.
the older Flash, comes to Earth in one of the crossovers, he says, "John, where you don't have your ring on." But that was
Yes.
like the year
Yeah.
before, though.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
cool.
catch that. Oh,
Yeah.
I never noticed that. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Mhm.
Okay, I know Ferris Era exists on those in the Arrowverse. So, but yeah, and also no Kyle. What's the other one?
Kyle Rayner.
Kyle
something?
Rayner,
Kyle Rayner.
which that's
Yeah.
interesting to me.
No, him either. Right. So, sounds cool. I just want to see cool Green Lantern stuff. I don't know about it seems like it'd be pretty expensive. I mean, let's spend a lot of money on Game of Thrones, right, and Westworld. So maybe that there won't be any object for them. But having it set on different worlds like that, I'm curious if they'll do that and how it'll play on TV. You know what I mean? Because we've always said that about, because they're like, space police, right? Pretty much the Lanterns, right? Like, so
Yeah.
they're just to have that set on all these different worlds, like I don't know. I'm curious to see how that will look on
Mandalorian,
HBO.
take some lessons from Mandalorian.
Right. Oh yeah, you're right. And you do, they got the big, I forgot what the projection, the rear projection, whatever they do,
Video wall.
how they do all
The volume.
Yeah. So
God, if they do the volume for this, I'll run out of this.
Yeah. Hey, Gio, man, what? So,
Where are you gonna run?
Alex Scott,
I don't know.
Gio, what is your level of excitement for this?
Yeah,
Man?
Resident DC, man. We left the best for last.
It's about a 9 out of 10 for the reasons that Jake said. The one thing are the writers. But make no mistake about it, guys. HBO Max is killing it as far as developing DC properties for their streaming service. Okay, and Keith, if I were you, I wouldn't be worried about the visual effects or the look of it or the budgeting. I mean, they're giving $70 million for the highly anticipated Snyder Cut.
Oh,
And
really? I thought it was 80. I heard 80.
Or $100 million. But for the Green Lantern Corps, they're going to put some money into this thing for sure. I love their approach to this. Introducing lesser known lanterns to a mass audience, letting them know that this world is so much more bigger. And to answer Anthony's question, yes, Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan, I believe, are being reserved for a DC Green Lantern Corps movie that's been in development hell with Justin Rhodes and David Goyer writing the script. So that's kind of in development hell, but I think Walter Hamada is really set on doing a Green Lantern movie. But as far as this goes, I love their approach to it. It's still early. They have a lot of casting to do. Hopefully they got Isa Gonzalez on the phone or Anya de Armas with them for Jessica Cruz. And I will at some point expect this to be tied in with the main universe. Again, like Flashpoint fandom, DC fandom, they're making all of this possible with the multiverse and whatnot. So who's to say we don't see these characters in the DCEU at some point? But yeah, I'm loving what I'm hearing. I am excited about it, and I know we don't have much time. So,
Well, and real quick, I know Seth Grahame-Smith is he has some questionable things on his resume, and whether you like the Lego Batman movie or not, it has some deep cuts into the DC history and lore. Like, there's so many things on DC history in the Lego Batman movie, so he knows DC. That doesn't mean he's going to write a good screenplay, but at least he knows DC, and of course Guggenheim does and everything like that. Well, any last thoughts, guys?
Well, and Graham Smith, I just remember this while we were talking, but he was one of the directors that was originally attached to do the Flash movie.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I will say this.
the Lego Batman movie is, Lego Batman movie is one of the best Batman movies we have in existence. So,
I like it.
I will say this. The thing that gives me confidence about the writer of all this stuff is DC knows they can't F up Green Lantern twice. Like that, When
That's a good
they
point.
when they messed up Green Lantern in 2011, like there's a reason that they had to wait so long to reboot this
Yeah.
franchise, because then you're gonna get comparisons to that movie no matter what you do. It's been almost a decade since that movie has come out. People have forgotten about it as much as, like, it hasn't been forgotten. It's still like, oh yeah, that Green Lantern movie, but it's not as remembered as it could be. If you mess up it again, there's no coming back from 2 times in a row. And especially if you're trying to put these characters into a movie universe and make them respected and as popular as these other characters, you better get the TV show pretty freaking right.
Well,
So,
considering what he did with Aquaman, just give it to Snyder. He'll make it badass.
All right, Jacob, time to wrap the show up.
Well, yeah, that's going to do it. Thank you, Brian and Gio, with your Green Lantern and DC knowledge. And that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Apocaflix Now. Thank you all for joining us. Let us know what you thought of our topics in the comment section. Of course, don't forget to check us out this Thursday. We're going to be talking about our favorite heist movies of all time. Also, don't forget to go to TeePublic and grab yourself some Apocaflix merchandise. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all at Apocaflix Movies. We'll see you in a couple days.
Mad Max for life!
oh my God.